Hello everyone, it's me, WagnerTube, and welcome back to another video. So, recently I decided to rewatch Dragon Ball Super Superhero because I wanted to see what my thoughts on it nowadays were because, well, there were some problems I realized I had with the movie, so I wanted to see, hey, what are my current thoughts now? And in my movie ranking video, I said, yeah, overall a really solid movie, except the middle is kind of bad, but I mean, I can't give this movie a lower ranking. It's Dragon Ball, man. Where can you go wrong with Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball is legendary. So, let's see if those thoughts are still true, or my opinion has changed. So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so it took me quite a bit to get used to the animation in the movie. Like, I did not like the animation. Like, in the flashback scenes, the animation looks amazing, and that's probably just because some of it was made by Shintani, because, like, his art style is amazing. So, at first, I didn't like the 3D animation, but the more I watched the movie, the more I liked it, and about halfway through, I was loving the 3D animation. I think the best part of the 3D animation is what it does with the fight scenes. Like, the fight scenes in this movie are so good because of the 3D animation. Especially Beast Gohan versus Cell Max. They did not have to go that hard with that fight. Plus many others like Goku versus Vegeta and Gohan and Piccolo versus the Gammas. But yeah, I think this was some really good animation. Like, I actually think it was better than Broly's. Yeah. I'm sorry for saying that, hardcore Broly fans, but I prefer the animation over Broly's. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This movie definitely has the Akira Toriyama flair with the writing. Like, I was laughing my butt off in the first half of this movie. Akira Toriyama has really great humor. Like, he has a really great sense of humor. And then the characters, they all stay true to themselves in the anime. Like, I love the characters in the movie. I think they're all really great. Although I do really wish we got a lot more of Gohan, the Gammas, Goku, and Vegeta. Like, we really needed more of them, and I'm sad we didn't get much. But, you know, I'm happy with what we got. Also, they try to set up this whole thing with, like, the Gammas not believing that they're actually working for the bad guys. Like, no, it can't be true, but we've barely seen them in the movie, so why are they setting up this whole plot line about them not believing? And then Cell Max. I know a lot of people didn't like him, and they were really disappointed, but on Rewatch, I really loved him. And my friend Isaac Animate, like, he said that he didn't like that he had no personality, and he was just kind of, like, fighting them, and, ooh, big, scary, and he's a savage and stuff, but that's kind of what I like about him in the movie. I mean, like, I know, it would have been really cool to see Cell, like the actual original Cell back again, but I really like the Cell in this movie, and I think it goes along with how OP he is, although they really kind of treated him like a joke in the movie, but I'll get to that in another part. The pacing is kind of bad in this movie. I think the pacing is a bit too fast in this movie, which sadly I think is also kind of a problem in Broly. But what's funny is that in the show, the pacing is way too slow. Both Z and Super, the pacing is too slow. So for the movies, it's too fast, but for the shows, it's too slow. Huh. And then for the manga, the pacing is perfect. I don't know what to say to that. That's just a cool fact. But yeah, I think the Dragon Ball movies definitely need to kind of step up in terms of their pacing. And Superhero is probably the best example of bad pacing. So yeah, try to fix that problem, Toei, and Fox, and Akira Toriyama, and Disney. This movie has a lot of fan service. We get so many returning characters, so many flashback scenes, but at some point, I feel like it's kind of forced. Like, they kind of just shove in all the fan service into this movie. Like, with Broly, they didn't do that. I mean, like, they definitely had fan service, but not on this level. And this movie was being written before Broly, so maybe they were kind of just like, hey, you know what, let's have a bunch of cameos and references and fan service, but maybe just lower it a bit. Don't just bombard us with so much freaking fan service. Like, I like it when fan service is done right, but they kind of overdid it. Again, I still really like the fan service, but they kind of overdid it a bit. I know I already kind of talked about this a bit earlier, but the fight scenes in this movie are just beautiful, is the best way to describe them. The fight scenes in this movie are beautiful. I guess the best examples of, like, the really good fight scenes in this movie were definitely Gohan and Piccolo versus the Gammas, Goku versus Vegeta, and Beast Gohan versus Cellmax. And I'll tell you why. It's just, like, the way the characters fight and all the camera angles and I guess it's mainly like the camera work and the 3D that makes the fight scenes amazing. Like, another good example is like with Broly. Like, I think that those two movies are basically the kind of fights I love to see in Dragon Ball. Like, whenever I think of Dragon Ball Fight in my head, those are the kind of things that I think of. And sadly, the shows don't have the same budget as the movies, so they can't really pull off those kinds of fights. But whenever we get them, I love them. I mean, Dragon Ball is kind of best known for its fights. So, I had all these negative thoughts about the movie throughout it. The pacing, the amount of fan service, just all these things. But yet, I still love this movie so much. Like, this movie, like, from the second the movie started, it had the Dragon Ball feel. This movie reminded me on why I love Dragon Ball in the first place, because I've kind of taken Dragon Ball for granted lately. Like, for real, I've been taking it for granted. Like, why do I have all these figures? Oh, I watched the whole series, and oh, wow, I started watching Dragon Ball Z, but I stopped. Like, I just didn't care for the franchise as much, but this movie reminded me of why I love Dragon Ball in the first place. This show is a masterpiece, and Akira Toriyama is a master of storytelling and writing. And, yeah, I really love the movie, and I felt like making a whole review of it on YouTube because I wanted to. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed, and pretty soon I'm actually going to be making a video on Broly, so watch out for that. Anyways, bye everyone.